Yes, you guys guessed it. Today we are going to visit my home country, which is France. My cat is going nuts in the background. While I do enjoy pretty much all kind of food, as you guys probably noticed by now, I also do love French food. We have so many recipes, it's creamy, it's buttery, it's a lot of it is delicious, and I regularly eat it on keto, because again, like most of the recipes are actually pretty keto friendly except a few details. So we are gonna jump right in with breakfast because it's 9:30 a.m. and I'm hungry. A typical French breakfast will be made out of viennoiserie. So viennoiserie are gonna be pretty much like pastries, but breakfast pastry, and that's gonna include croissant, chocolate croissant, and all of that. I checked online and actually found a few recipes for croissant. However, because I like to keep it simple and because, I had other options, I decided to go with the most typical and everyday French breakfast, and that's gonna be toast with butter and jam. That's it. And of course, let's not forget coffee. So let me show you really quickly what I've got. It doesn't really take much. I've got my keto bread, same as always. I've got some sugar-free jam. So it is pretty keto friendly, but still be careful. It's really sweet. I use less than half a tablespoon per toast. And finally, good old butter. And that's pretty much all I need. And on top of that, I'm gonna make my coffee. I'm gonna have regular coffee. If I were in France, I probably have an espresso. However, at home in the US, I have a good regular coffee machine, and so that's what I'm gonna have this morning. Toast already, which I'm excited. It only took a few seconds, but when you're hungry, a few seconds matter, that's for sure. Coffee is taking its sweet time though. I'm glad I have a coffee machine, but this thing takes forever, especially when you're dying for coffee in the morning. Just buttered my 2 toasts. I honestly rather have more butter than jam to begin with on my toast. I've always been that way, keto or not. So I guess between like the 2 slices, I probably use 1.5 tablespoon of butter, which is totally fine. So I'm just gonna add the jam and breakfast will pretty much be done. As you can see, I really didn't use much, but because it's really strong and it's really sweet, that much is more than enough. So it's about a full tablespoon for the 2 toasts. Here it is. And of course, I have my coffee that I made like I always make it, with a splash of unsweetened coconut milk, some hazelnut sugar-free syrup, and a little bit of liquid sweetener, and that's it. And now I'm ready to have my easy, simple breakfast. It's so simple, but it's actually so good. I like to fold my toast. I don't know why. I don't like making actual sandwiches with it, which is weird. That's what most people do. I just like making mini sandwiches and bending them. and some butter that melts on warm toast is amazing. So as you can see, anyone can rely that breakfast. I mean, you can make it before work, you can take it to go, you can eat that on a Sunday or a Wednesday, it doesn't really matter. It's delicious, it's pretty filling, kind of sweet on the morning, which I really like. I'm gonna be posting the macro right here for the breakfast. Nothing crazy, but enough to get me going for now and to hold on until lunch. So it was really good, and I hope you give it a try if you've never ate a toast like that. Apparently it's not very common here in the US, but it's delicious, and in that case it was also totally keto friendly thanks to the sugar-free jam and the keto bread. For now, I'm simply gonna go enjoy my coffee before it actually gets cold. I don't really like cold coffee. I like iced coffee. But cold coffee? No, that doesn't work. So I'm gonna go enjoy my hot coffee, do some work, and then I'll be back. Time for lunch, and of course I have my sous chef with me because help is always good. But so for lunch, a typical French recipe is gonna be quiche Lorraine. So it's actually a really simple recipe. Technically, all you need is some dough. Here I used to use like the dough from like pies. But because we are on keto, we are not gonna be using any dough, and that's actually what's gonna make it keto friendly. All we are gonna need are some eggs, some Gruyere cheese. I found this one at Trader Joe. It's pretty good. It's not the one I will find in France, but it's better than nothing. And also this. Those are like little like ham pieces. You're more than welcome to use bacon instead, but I prefer it with this one. And on top of that, you're also gonna need some sour cream. In France, we'll use crème fraîche, which I've never found here. So sour cream works just fine. I've tried it before and quite a few times, and it ended up being the same. So those are gonna be all the very basic ingredients of the quiche Lorraine. Now, because I like to make it a little bit more like bulk and also savory, I'm gonna be using a few extra things. First off, because I'm kind of short on cheese, I'm gonna be using this one on top of it to give it a little bit more. And then I personally like to add some veggies in it, and usually I always add the same two veggies. It's gonna be onion and it's gonna be red bell pepper. I'm gonna cook them in a little bit of olive oil, and then that'll pretty much be it. Like once I have my veggies done, I'm gonna throw everything, mix it, and put it in the oven, let it cook, and that'll be ready. Of course, you don't have to use red bell pepper and onions. You can make the simple version, or you can use other veggies such as spinach, mushroom, and so on. Honestly, everything works. It doesn't really matter. It's just up to you and what you prefer. On top of that, we are gonna be using some spices. So we are gonna be using all of our like regular one, which is gonna be onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. And on top of that, we are gonna be using some herbes de Provence, which is a French version of Italian seasoning. So they are hard to find, but honestly, if you don't have it, it's not a big deal. But I would say use some Italian seasoning, and it's gonna be just perfect. Okay, time to start cooking. I'm excited. I'm hungry. I have about half a bell pepper and half yellow onions. I'm just gonna chop that and we'll get that cooking. Get a little bit softer, and while it's doing that, I'm gonna get my egg mixture ready. personal opinion. I know I said you can use Italian seasoning and that's totally okay, but honestly, I feel like that is much, much better. Veggies are ready. I'm gonna throw that in the mix and we'll be good. Okay, it is. Now that everything is ready, we can put it in the oven. So just need a pan, some cooking spray, and let's go. Look at that, guys. It's gonna be so delicious. It already smells delicious. I'm super excited, and thankfully it doesn't take too long to cook. I put the oven to 375, it will take about 20 minutes, and lunch will be good. Et voila! That's the way it looks. The recipe I made called for 4 servings. At least that's what I do with it. You can do 2, 1, like however many servings you want out of it. But that's gonna last me for 4 days pretty much, at least like 4 meals. Now it's very typical in France to eat that with like a little like side salad with some vinaigrette, like green salad and vinaigrette. I don't feel like salad at all today. That's gonna be plenty enough for me for right now. So I'm gonna try it out. I just took it out of the oven, so it's smoking. It's gonna be really hot. But yeah, that's how it looks inside. I really feel like the onion and the bell pepper makes all the difference. Some people prefer it like neutral, like the very basics. I honestly think it tastes so much better with veggies. Probably could have added some mushroom in it as well, would have worked great. But yeah, it's super good, it is super French, and it's super keto. I'm done with lunch. It was delicious, super filling, and that's for sure gonna bring me all the way to dinner without being hungry at all. I'm gonna be posting all of the portions that I use for one serving side right here, so you can see with what I ended. And yeah, that's about it for now. I'm gonna relax. I don't have to go to work today. Already did everything I had to do, minus cleaning my house, which looked like a disaster, but it always does, so you get used to it. And I'll be back with dinner. It's gonna be another typical French recipe, and to give you a little tip, that's the name of a very famous animated movie. It's dark outside and it's dinner time. Full disclosure, I did not clean anything in my house. I sat in my couch and I relaxed for a few hours. It was really nice. But now I am getting hungry. It is already almost 8 p.m. and tonight we are making some ratatouille. Veggie meal, super good. I'm gonna be eating that with a little bit of meat. Now, like for the quiche Lorraine, the thing is that everyone can make it their own, and in that case, that's again what I'm gonna do. Not to make it actually keto friendly, because that's perfectly fine, simply because the recipe calls for eggplant and I don't like eggplant at all. I'm gonna be using canned diced tomatoes, so much easier than actual tomatoes. The rest of that onion, red bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, some mushroom that I have left, and a full zucchini. Most important, we are gonna be using some more herbe de Provence. We use that like in almost every dish we make. It's really super popular. But again, if you don't have it or you can't find it, use Italian seasoning. This is better. I feel like it has a lot more flavor. But sometimes you gotta do with what you have. So I'm gonna get cooking, and that should be ready pretty fast. I just need to chop the veggies and throw everything in a pan with some olive oil, and that'll be pretty much it. Cook the meat. I'm gonna have a little steak on the side, but yeah, ratatouille is actually a really easy dish to realize, and I hope you're gonna enjoy. Bell peppers and onion are ready to go. So I'm gonna throw that in the pan first with some olive oil, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, so it can start cooking. And as soon as it starts looking good, I'll add the zucchini and the mushrooms and obviously the tomatoes. Everything is in. Let it simmer for quite a bit. And of course, let's not forget, I am gonna be adding the spices. Everything is almost done. Let me show you. I have the meat going right now. And it smells so good, and I can't wait to have dinner. So I guess this is gonna be for 4, which is perfect because I also have 4 pieces of meat in which I put like a little bit too much butter, but this just looks delicious. Finally sitting down for dinner. This is my plate to give you a closer look. So colorful, smells so good. It's gonna be fresh. It's super healthy, super simple. I can't wait to try it. It's delicious. I mean, a steak is a steak, plus it's a crappy steak. So no need to retry anything. But I am going to enjoy my dinner really quickly, so I can wrap everything up for tonight because it's already late. And he's hungry too. Didn't feed him yet. So I almost forgot because I'm done with dinner. But here is the thing. I cannot finish a French keto day of eating without finishing with cheese. So tonight I'll be having some brie cheese with mushroom. It's really good. Like all of my cheese, it comes from Trader Joe. It's not that expensive for this. It's already open. I ate some of it. They were like quite a bit more, but it was like $6. So it is expensive, but it's not as expensive as other places. Let's put it like that. And again, cannot end the day without a little piece of cheese. Here is how it looks. It is super creamy. It's delicious. Cheese is from far my favorite food ever. I honestly don't know how I would live if I were to become lactose intolerant. Like, I don't think I'll survive. Because not only I ate quite a bit of ice cream and a bunch of like dairy products like sour cream and so on, but I mean, without cheese, I'll be lost. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. I am gonna be posting everything I use for one serving of the ratatouille and all the macro with the steak and everything for that recipe for my dinner. And I'm also gonna be posting all of the macro for my day right here, and I hope it's gonna be helpful. I hope you try those recipes. If you like the video, please give it a thumb up, subscribe, and ring that little bell. That'll be so great. I'll be super thankful. Let me know if you try any of those recipes or if you have tried any of those recipes and your thoughts about it. And finally, also let me know if there is a specific country that you would like to see featured, because right now I already have one in mind, but I'm open to suggestion and I love a good challenge. So let me know, and thank you so much. Bye.